In this episode, I go bamboo shopping with Kenan. I am visited by Jerry and Kagan from Wolf's World, where I purchase 2 of their cages and I show them my spiny-tailed iguana. After this, I will do a large water change in one of my 3,000-gallon aquariums, and I visit Leu Gardens, which was a huge inspiration to me when I started all my gardens in Apopka and Winter Garden. Let's take a look. Hey Kenan,
what's going on, man?
Thanks for meeting me here.
You always bring me to the most fun places. I appreciate it.
This place is so cool, isn't it? It's a whole bamboo nursery.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This is the dwarf Buddha belly.
Yeah, I love this species. This is amazing. I'd love to pick up some of this today for sure. You got me like a kid in a candy store because bamboo happens to be one of my favorite plants on the planet. I just love them.
Great. Well, let's get a few for your yard and for my yard.
All right. Thanks so much. Let's go.
This place is awesome.
I love it.
So this is what I want. I want some angel mist. I love this white cane. I want some graceful, and I want some nana.
What is the powder that's on this?
Bloom.
Okay.
And it basically comes out on the new shoots. A lot of plants get it, but angel mist and tropical blue hold it for like up to 2 years at a time. So that's really a yellow bamboo as classification.
Okay.
See, if you look behind the white, you see the yellow sticking out. And that is because the powder wears off eventually. But it's just a bloom powder, like an extra protectant to the skin of the shoots.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For the Orlando area,
Party to 20, 25 degrees.
perfect.
There's so many different varieties. It is classified as a grass.
Sure is.
Right. That's incredible. Which is why it kind of grows so fast.
Fastest growing grass in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. So anyhow, I'm interested in all the species you're interested in, and maybe a little bit of the Buddha belly, a couple more of the Buddha belly, because I think that would be a unique kind of look to also kind of block things out as well.
They do good. Their canopy gets really full, but the payoff for a Buddha belly is the bulbous canes. You know?
Okay, yeah.
So you want to do my favorite look is a 50-50 trim where the canes are cleaned up halfway from the ground and the other half is canopy.
Gotcha.
And then you uplight it at night and it just looks fantastic.
Okay, amazing.
This is the gracilis on the next
Yes,
aisle, right? So
awesome.
So this
There's
is
a little
the
old imports mixed in, but that's gracilis.
now this right here, is this the fastest grow? This is the hedge. This is the hedge bamboo for Florida, right?
It is. Now we're in a dark situation for graceful right now. It likes to be a full sun hedge. So because of all these bigger plants around it, it's really keeping its dark green color, and it's not branching or shooting as fast as it would if it was in full sun.
Okay.
Because this is how bamboo would like to be, is in a forest with their brothers and sisters, providing a shared canopy and then having leaves all over the floor, turning into
Mulch.
good mulch, topsoil, and so on.
Was that 10, 12 feet on center?
These are on 9-foot centers.
9-foot centers. So
And that's
probably
to let the hedge develop.
Yep. So if you wanted a hedge, you do 5-foot centers, 4-foot centers.
Typically, yeah. You're starting with a potted plant that's not going to be as full as a field-grown plant, so you want to get them a little closer for the client or for your own, situation. You want to have them closer so they don't have much work to do to fill in.
Okay. If we were going to buy some nana today, how do we buy? Because you said you got some 15s.
So I'll see if
And
any
you-
of the 15s are worth,
Okay.
putting on. They might be thin. They're
Yeah.
rooted, but I don't know how nice they are.
Okay.
And if you're dying for one or two as a focal point, we'll just dig a little one that looks like a pot.
Who would be okay in the pickup truck or?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have it all. I'll shrink wrap it.
Okay.
We'll get you set up. I sell field grown every day, so
Cool.
the
Okay.
little ones are the easy ones.
Excellent.
Don't even have to start up the power shovel.
Okay.
How Tom has started planting these universal rock enclosures with these gorgeous plants. He's got the sliding glass door installed in this one, and look how incredible. These are starting to look really flushed out with plants. I mean, this is phenomenal. This is a reptile's dream.
Very, very cool.
How amazing is that?
And you see how I build the cage with all the stripping, so even if a staple went bad, there's no way for them to push that screen out. It's secure with all the stripping over it. All the lumber is pressure treated, except for the shelf where they sun themselves or will be under their basking lights. That is actually just white pine because I don't like them sitting on pressure treated. The walls and floors are all dry lock. Some of that could be touched up where you see maybe the female was in there and was digging. So she's actually dug through that surface. So I would probably get a can of gray dry lock and touch up the floor. But you don't have to. It is still pressure treated plywood. That is stunning. What? He has the same eyes as a black dragon. He literally has a black dragon face.
Wow, look at this guy. Look at his tail. Holy cow.
So stinking handsome. I'm saying handsome. Is this a male? He looks like a male.
You are beautiful.
That is a beautiful animal.
So one of the viewers gave me this.
Well, I hope you thanked him.
Oh my goodness!
10 times.
Actually, you know what? I did just what I did. I gave him a modest check, and then I gave him free plants, and he's welcome to more free plants.
That's incredible. What a
Look at this.
beautiful, beautiful animal. Can you guys see the spikes on that tail? That's so, so cool. You are incredible.
Oh, thank you.
You are as well, Kagan.
Oh, I was voicing him.
The cage is set up so nice, and of course, Tom has access to all the cool plants. So he has banana plants in there. What is this back here, Tom?
That's a strawberry guava that needs to be watered.
Strawberry guava. Yeah, it's a
Little wilty.
and a mulberry. Yeah.
I could see he chowed on the. Everybody chows on the mulberries.
That pattern on his side, that speckling, that is amazing. And his
He's hungry.
blacks are true blacks. I mean, that is dark.
He's got greens.
Oh,
He's got a fresh bowl of greens.
so phenomenal.
Hey Jerry, so what do you think of my cage here?
Well, on the telephone, I was 100% against it. I'm a perfectionist. I'm all about using the best materials and everything. But looking at it now, for the price, this makes sense for somebody. Like, to buy this, not to keep outdoors. Because you're outdoors with rain protection, so that will help this last. If you were keeping it outdoors and this was getting rained on, I would say absolutely not, because it's going to fall apart and your animal's probably going to get loose. But for what you're using it for, you modified the bottom to make it work so you can have the plants in there. I think it's really smart. I think you did a really good job with it. I like it.
It's been cooler, and he hasn't. The warmer it is, the more he eats.
Yeah, absolutely. Our iguanas have slowed down a lot too. Normally they are every single day eating a big pile of greens, their Missouri iguana chow, and lately they've been kind of taking a day off here and there. They don't nearly want to eat as much. Their digestion just slows down a lot when it's cooler. But this is a really, really cool lizard. I've seen pictures of these before online, but seeing one in person, this does not scream iguana to me, which is what's so cool about it. He's almost very monitor-like, just in his eyes, the structure of his face, and that tail, that spiked tail he's got. That is a really, really special animal.
This here is one of my favorite catfish. It is a giant spotted tiger shovelnose. I purchased it from Predatory Fins. It is a different species than the much more common tiger shovelnose. I also have in this tank an iridescent shark, golden Chinese whales. I got some larger paraebas. I've had a problem in this tank with my large Peruvian shark. He is very aggressive and I can't get any other fish to live with him except this big arowana. The Peruvian shark is about 30 inches and the arowana is about 36 inches. I put 3 or 4 catfish in each of my 600-gallon aquariums. And I'm constantly moving them around because it just seems that one fish always picks on another. I had a shell-loving pangasus. It looks like a blue catfish. It is very rare in the aquarium trade, and the Peruvian shark was picking on him. So I moved him into his own tank with a lynx catfish and another large arowana. This is one of 2 jowled catfish I have. It is about 18 inches long. I have a whole bunch of phantom red-tailed cats. I also have the platinum red-tailed cat, which is a more pure white, which I don't have in this video. I'll show that in another video. That is a marble acara, a large tiger shovel nose. In the background you see an albino silver arowana. This tank here, I have a school of tinfoil barbs. An extremely large iridescent shark. That iridescent shark is about 3 feet long. Also in every tank I seem to have a resident tiger shovel nose and red-tailed catfish. That's a Florida gar you saw swim by there. For maintenance, I do about a 50% water change once a week, and once a month I'll do a larger water change. Once a month I'll do like an 80% water change. It's equipped with a bottom drain, so I can empty the water out and then turn another valve and I can fill it back up. So here we got some red-tailed cats, some black pacu. We have some tiger shovel nose hybrids. We got Oscars, and we got an albino gourami. I notice when I have an abundance of fish, there's a lot less aggression in the tank. But you know, I got to beef up the filtration and do larger water changes. You know, some of the tanks I have 1 fish per tank. Other tanks have 10 or 15 fish per tank. Today we are at Leu Gardens. I have not been here since I started my garden. That's incorrect. I came here once. So I started building my garden in the year 2021. I think I visited once in early 2022, but I've never come back. So this is my first time coming back here since I built my garden. One of the things I see here right away is depth of field. I think depth of field is so important, and you can see the differences in terrain. They have 50 acres here. My garden is 9 acres. This garden was started in the year 1920. My garden was started in the year 2021. This was my dream. I moved here to Orlando, Florida. I saw this garden, Leu Gardens. It is 13 miles from my Apopka garden, and it just looked so tropical. Not quite Miami Beach, but halfway there. And Miami's almost 300 miles away, but this garden was only 13 miles away. So it was a big inspiration for me to try and plant exotic plants in a place that exotic plants don't always grow because of the cold. Well, I just saw this banyan tree here, and it looks absolutely fantastic. You know, they're not really hardy in Central Florida, and if they can try it here, I can try it at my place. Banyan trees, big banyan trees are ridiculous. I don't understand. They're $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. But you can get little ones for, I don't know, 20, 40, 50 bucks. So I'm going to plant a small one. I'm going to plant several small ones in the garden, and hopefully they'll turn into something before I die. This is my favorite part of Leu Gardens. It used to be my favorite part of Leu Gardens. This is where there used to be a path going out to a dock out there, and I used to see all different types of tropical fish and turtles, and on occasion I'd even see an alligator. And unfortunately the whole thing's been torn down. It's just a memory. One of the things I love here, I love all the bridges and I love the concrete walkways. I don't know if I'll ever get concrete walkways. We did a concrete walkway in one greenhouse and I think it was like $6,000. And that was from my own employees building it. So a concrete walkway throughout the whole garden would be quite expensive. But you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, so I'm working on my garden. This is the croton, the king of Siam, and I love it. I have a whole bunch of these in the greenhouse that I'm growing up. And you know, it's one of the things, I don't know if it's because it's warmer here or not, but I love all the different crotons they have here. This is a really cool one. This is a really cool one here too. This giant oak back here, that is the tree that inspired it all. So this tree, I remember coming to this tree, seeing this gigantic oak, and then underneath it were all these giant fishtail palms and King Alexander palms. And I just thought it looked so, so tropical. Unfortunately, giant fishtail palms are monocarpic. They flower and they die. And this is the last one left here in the garden. And it's dead. They just haven't got around to cutting it down yet. But that's a tragic thing. I mean, how things are always changing. This is a Cerberus. This is a Livistona Cerberus. I got several of these in my garden, and I always point out that I like the spines on the leaves. It looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And these are the King Alexanders I used to look at. There's right where I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but most of them are up in the treetops now, and you know, you can barely see them. That is one of the difficult things about building a garden, is keeping it looking great from decade to decade. You know, my garden, the trees are a little bit shorter and you can appreciate them more underneath the oaks, where here, the tops of the trees are lost in the oaks. I love these narrow paths. Now maybe this is something I can do because this is not a cemented path. You know something I see here too? I have my path so I can get down everything with a pickup truck and a trailer, which takes away some of the intimacy. If I had narrower paths like this that only a golf cart could get by, that would make a much more intimate setting. I'm looking at their live oaks they have here, and big giant live oaks just like I have, but I'm looking at the top. The canopy has been thinned out quite a bit, and that lets more sunlight into their palm trees. And you can see here they got quite a collection of palm trees. These are nice. This is a nice size, and a lot of these palm trees you can't buy anymore. They look better in full sun. Some of these do. Some of these palm trees look better in full sun, but you know, again, they use the canopy to lock in the heat at night because a lot of these are zone 10 and sometimes we're in zone 9 here. This is the palm part of the garden. The first part of the garden we went through is the rainforest part. So this is where they have 100 and something varieties of palm trees. And once again, it was a gigantic inspiration to me. This here is the cycad part of the garden. So on the left here are all these different types of cycads. This is the Hawaiian tree fern, which I have a couple of small. Actually, you know what? I think they all died, so I got to go buy some more. You see, it's a little bit different from the Australian tree fern. And this right here is the Hawaiian tree fern. And I heard that in Hawaii, it's a little higher elevation. It's not quite as hot, and they don't like our hot summers. But this one here is pretty cool. Absolutely spectacular. Look at all these giant cycads. This right here is the Tahini spectabilis. It is one of the rarest palm trees in the world. It has only produced seeds twice, and I was fortunate enough. I got one from Dale Holton, and unfortunately it died. So I got Mike from MB Palms to sell me one. It was the most money I ever spent on a palm tree. But any botanical garden you go to, they have this palm tree, and I want to have one myself. And I have this planted in my Fort Pierce garden. This palm tree is an Atalaya. Again, it's a very big, very Jurassic palm tree. It gets like 100 feet tall, or 80 feet tall, 60 feet tall. I have this lining my winter garden. And it's one of those big, giant Jurassic palm trees. I first saw this at a nursery down in Davie, Florida. I asked the owners of the nursery, it was in the ground, it was gigantic. How old is this palm tree? And they said, in the ground, 30 years. So at the time, I think I was 56. I was younger than that. At the time, I was like 55. So I'm going to plant it in the ground. It'll be this big when I'm 85. So hopefully I'll be there to see it. And it's like twice the size of this. Well, I mean, I could make several videos of everything here at Leu Gardens, but I just wanted to come, I wanted to visit it. I haven't been here in 2-3 years. This place is magnificent. We will see you next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe.